Hi there, welcome. Thank you for joining our Empower Your Mindful Athlete program, in which today's session we will focus on myofascial release using foam rolling and trigger point release therapy, in which we have previously done a session on our lower body and ways to release this built up scar tissue or tense and tight muscles through this form of treatment that allows and invites mobility and ease. This week we will be focusing on the upper body and sharing different techniques and tools to utilize to help you live and feel a more openness, more spacious, more injury risk reducing training, performance, and life. So, the tools in which we will be utilizing is a foam roller. Now there's a wide variety of foam rollers. This is a longer, full-sized foam roller and is quite intense. There's different levels of density that you can utilize as well. And you can also make your own at-home foam roller, perhaps with a baking rolling pin or a baseball bat, or even just a pole. Something that's hard in the center, and then you wrap it with a towel or a light blanket to create a little bit more soft cushioning on the outside for once we press our body parts onto the surface. There's also smaller size, so I do have a travel size foam roller that I can just put into my bags or my luggage to carry with me. So options there for the foam roller. And also a ball to get into some different smaller spaces, or as well when we find that knot, even though it does not feel so good, we can apply pressure from a trigger point release, which is just exactly onto that spot, breathing through it, allowing the muscles and the fascia is the pillowcase that surrounds the muscle, allowing the fascia to release, allowing the muscles to release, allowing the scar tissue to help soften, dissolve, and inviting in the circulation and ease. So for a trigger point ball, I like to utilize a lacrosse ball. However, there's options of a softball and a baseball, a little bit harder option. If you want something that's a little bit softer, tennis balls I've used before, but they do have creases and sometimes break. So be mindful of that. You can also utilize recycled paper, newspaper, just roll it up into a tight ball and then wrap it with a little bit of electric tape or duct tape. And there you go. There's your homemade trigger point release ball. So we'll be utilizing this when we get into some really sensitive spots. And as part of this Mindful Athlete program and 8-week series that we have been doing, I invite you to check out previous sessions or the upcoming sessions. And again, these recordings are here for you to utilize at any time to share with your family, friends, perhaps your teammates, maybe even your coaches or staff. And if you have any questions or comments, please, I always invite that to share in the comments below. That way I can continue to connect with you and help empower your mindful athlete that much more. So thank you for joining, and let us begin. So again, 2 weeks ago we did the lower body. So please check out that series. That series is from week 4. So look for that week, and might be week 3. But check out the foam rolling and myofascial release in the lower body. And ongoing, let us move into our practice for the upper body. Beginning with our back. We're going to place our foam roller, homemade foam roller, around and behind our back lengthwise. So with this, we want to also be mindful of our organs, of any sensitive joints and bones. So instead of laying it low back, being mindful of the kidneys, we're going to actually place it about midway up our back, right about where the ribs come down to. So a little bit lower or middle of the ribs. If you are a female, it's just below your sports bra line. And so placing it to the lower ribs, a little bit higher, right around this area of our sports bra or heart rate strap monitor space. Allow the foam roller to place into your back. And then with our hands, just place them up, supporting our neck. Maybe placing the hands together behind the head or behind the ears gently, just allowing the head and the neck to relax. So here, just breathe into, make any adjustments. Again, this practice is for you, so honor your being, honor your tension, your soreness, and if you need to stay in a spot a little bit longer, please, I invite you to do so. We'll just run through a brief showing and education on proper use of a foam roller for the upper body. So just as we discussed in previous sessions of our lower body, we want to move slowly, mindfully. So we'll slowly begin to move upward towards our shoulder blades, the base of our shoulder blades. Maybe we allow the chest to lay back, our head to lay back, opening up through the front of your belly, upper ribs, middle of the ribs, the sternum, the lungs, and just opening up the heart space. Allowing the shoulders, the elbows to be wide, opening up through the pecs and the chest, while pressing down with gravity and your own body weight into the middle and upper back. Slowly rolling upward towards the base of your shoulder blades, I invite you to bring your elbows in to hug your ears. And then maybe we rock a little to one side, feeling any tension underneath of the shoulder blade or your lat on the side. Rolling to one side and then the other. Again, maybe we are a little bit more tense onto your right or your left side. Honor that and breathe into that space. In your time, return back to center. Bring the hands away from the ears. Give yourself a nice little hug so we separate the shoulder blades a little bit more. Lifting ourselves up. Let us roll up and back in between the shoulder blades. Again, if it's too much on your neck, simply place the hands to cradle the head. Maybe the elbows come together to touch to keep the separation of your shoulder blade and allow this massage, this release in between the shoulder blades up towards the neck and back down. So keep repeating those movements. And again, as we've discussed before in our lower body myofascial release session, breathe through it and just explore. slowly, mindfully moving between these spaces. When you find that sweet spot, relax and breathe. Slowly allowing your bum to come back to the ground if it's not already. Place the arms along and allow your head and neck to rest for just a moment. Allow your chin to come towards your chest. Allow the opening in the back of the spaces of your neck. And with the foam roller right at the base, the back of your head, maybe just rock it a little bit to the right, mindful of your neck, and a little to the left, slower than we want to go. So the first round or two is just an exploratory process, and then we move into deeper releases once you find the spots that need a little bit more attention for you. So moving forward, rolling ourselves back up to where the foam roller is right underneath of those shoulder blades when we began to rock side to side. Coming to this space, roll yourself to your right. Allow your right arm to be long, being onto your right side. And then the left hand can place up behind the neck, again, supporting your head. Because as much as we can, we want to soften our muscles. We want to relax. So the pressure of the foam roller or our ball, the trigger point release tool, can do its work. Maybe we roll a little bit more towards the front of our chest and then again towards our back. In this exploration of the side, the lats, under to the upper underneath part of your arm, just slowly, mindfully roll and adjust your body to allow the foam roller to continue to move upward towards the armpit. Again, rocking a little bit forward and rocking a little bit back. Explore and find the tense spaces for you. A little bit of the underarm, right in the crease of the arm. And I invite you in your own time to come back to these spaces that may need a little bit more nourishment. For now, we'll slowly rise up, allow the foam roller to roll down the base of the arm. Rising yourself up, and then we just repeat on the opposite side. So we place the foam roller right underneath of the shoulder blade on the opposite side, lengthening that left arm, rolling to your left side. And again, exploring this side, a little forward, a little back. Slower than we want to go, so we give the time to our muscles, to the tense spaces to actually respond and listen. At first, when we hit a spot that's sensitive, fight or flight, parasympathetic nervous system fires up. What happens is we might get tense and protection mode. So we can, when we go softer, when we give ourselves that time and go slower, we allow and we invite the softening for tension, soreness, scar tissue, old injuries to show up, to nourish, to release. Honoring those spaces, gently rolling forward and back. Making your way up towards your armpit, the crease of your arm. Just checking in and pausing those sensitive spots that might need just a bit more nourishment, a bit more time for release. So can we listen? That's the part of the mindfulness from week 1 when we discussed mindfulness. Do you remember what that is? Mindfulness is turning our attention and being aware of the present moment. We all know oftentimes thoughts and feels or visions, reflections of the past or future come in and come up. Being mindful, can we tune into this moment and breathe? And when that thought or that memory comes up, or the thinking of the future, can we just be aware of it? Like, ooh, okay, this part of my shoulder and my lap is a bit more sensitive. That's right, I dislocated my left arm being a goalkeeper in such and such game. Okay, that is a memory. Now we come back to this moment of our breath. To soften, to then release that tension, to invite the healing of this space, to be stronger moving forward. So we make it to the armpit, to the crease of the arm, and then we begin to sit ourselves up, engage your navel, slowly roll up the back side of that arm and rise to a seated shape. Moving upward from the middle to upper back, and then to the shoulders, the outside. Now, loosening up through those spaces, let us turn our foam roller lengthwise. So if you have the full length foam roller, this is why I particularly like this one for longer sessions versus my travel size. My travel size is about half of this foam roller, and I'm not able to do this. So being mindful of your tool, and again, you can make an at-home tool to utilize that's a bit longer if you have the travel size. Or if you do have the travel size, just place it about halfway up your back, because what intentionally we are doing here is when we lay down lengthwise onto our foam roller, we want to allow the arms and the chest to open. So inviting the hands to the floor, allow the shoulder blades to hug the foam roller. Allow your head to be supported, support and protect your neck. Pause here. Breathe in to open space through the lungs, the ribs, the intercostal muscles, the shoulders, the chest, and soften. Again, it's really difficult to release muscles that are tense. So relax a little, breathe a little, connect with your being. As a mindful athlete, we slow down and we listen. Oftentimes we're so busy racing and running and competing and so much training and overtraining. So slow down, connect to this moment. Then we lift our arms up towards the sky, towards the ceiling, and invite the shoulder blades again to relax. Maybe we make a few shoulder rolls forward and back, and just feel the shoulder blades hugging the foam roller. Open up space of your rhomboid, the lats, this whole back and and upper back to soften. And then bringing the arms across opposite side for a little hug. Separating the shoulder blades once again, gently rock a little side to side. And exploring the space between your shoulder blades. Just notice. And then rise the arms back up. Palms facing each other. Tuck in your tailbone, navel engaged, and then bring the arms up overhead. So lengthening through the side, through the lats that we just released. Allowing this stretch, inviting your thumbs towards the ground. And if they do not reach, no worries, no need to force it. So being exactly aware of where you are in this moment. Engage your navel, lengthen the spine. And slowly bring your arms back up. Again, often slower than we want to go here. Use mindful, slow movements to help nourish and release. Inviting and allowing the muscles, the fascia, the time to send those messages to relax. Arms go all the way down next to our sides to the ground and then slowly rising back up. Up overhead, thumbs towards the earth or on the ground. Navel engaged, lengthen the spine. Engage your core so the back muscles can open and lengthen. And so option to do this as many times that feels good to you. For now, we're just going to bring the hands back up, palms face each other, and then hugging ourselves in the opposite way. Top arm becomes the bottom arm becomes the top. And if you don't remember which crops first last time, no worries. Just make sure you get in both sides, keeping it balanced. And then slowly opening up the arms. So what we're going to do here is bending them at 90 degrees, elbows towards the earth. So we're making like a football field goal, cactus arms. And we want to bring the palm, the base of the back of your hand. Bringing the back of your hands to the ground, palms face up. Feel the nice opening through the front of your chest and arms. Staying there as long as feels good to you. Keeping the elbows exactly where they are. The hands rise up to the ceiling. And then rotate the palms down to your ground in like your soccer goal. Now opening up, feeling this through the front of the shoulders, perhaps your back and neck. And again, option to stay here as long as you want. Option to slowly move back and forth between these two transitions. Lubricating the shoulders, the chest. And then slowly releasing. So perhaps as we have explored the mid-back, upper back, shoulder space, and chest, we can see the areas that might need a little bit more deeper trigger point release. So with our ball, placing it, and the option to have two balls to place them on opposite side of your spine. You can also take a sock if you have two balls and put these inside of a sock to keep them more together. So we place the ball perhaps inside of the shoulder blade, maybe closer up to your neck, wherever you explored a little bit more of a tense area. And just begin to allow your breath to soften, and again, have that gravity and pressure of your own body pressing into the trigger point release, the ball. Maybe it's underneath the arm again, or the side. If the chest was really tense and we were opening up, maybe we take the ball and place it right inside of our shoulder or our pec. So again, this is an option up to you, to what you found in your exploration of our movements and our range of motion that we previously did on the foam roller. Once you find those spaces of tension and knot, settle in, breathe in to release. Maybe we even close our eyes and envision the muscles softening, lengthening and straightening back out. So remembering your deep, intentional breaths, inhaling and exhaling, I invite you to continue to explore your upper body with the trigger point release tool. Perhaps continue to go back into the bigger muscles with your foam roller to explore, to use your breath to relax, soften, and embody your mindful athlete, embody your practice, and become connected with your physical, energetic being that might be storing old injuries or might be protecting. If you create specific certain movements into a sport or in an activity all the time, then be mindful of the left and the right balance. Continue to open up these spaces of tension, of tightness. And please continue to share your comments and your feedback and questions with me. You are welcome to reach out to me at any time. Thank you so much for joining. Join us next week as we come out of our myofascial release sessions and we move into lengthening and strengthening from within with our yoga session. So join us next week to empower your mindful athlete. Check out the sessions previous and feel free to share. Thank you for joining. Have a beautiful day. Have an empowered day.